Hi Taurus, welcome back to my channel, Karma Fox. I am doing your weekly reading. Hope you guys are all well. I do want to take a second to remind everyone that this is a general reading. It may not resonate with every single Taurus out there. So guys, take what resonates for you and just leave the rest for someone else. Remember, the energies can reverse. So if it's resonating, Taurus, you get in where you fit in, but don't force yourself into a reading that's not for you. Spirit, can I have the energy of the sign of Taurus? Taurus. Taurus. All right, Taurus, you are starting out with the Hierophant in the reverse. You have the Strength card in the reverse. And coming out together is the Magician reversed along with the Knight of Cups. So Taurus, there is an issue here with an ending, possibly of a committed connection or a lack of commitment. And it's kind of got you out of sorts. There's something you're trying to figure out about this. With the Strength card in reverse, there's some fear involved with this, and it's causing a little bit of manipulative behavior with regard to love. It's almost, Taurus, like you feel that there's like love is just out of reach for you. And I do feel like it's what you're wanting, it's what your goal is. But instead of things coming across like, hey, I really love you, it comes across somehow as being some sort of manipulative behavior. And I don't think that that's intentional. From what I can see, it's not intentional. It's rooted in fear. Fear of things not manifesting the way that you want them to. So, and I do feel like you get easily overwhelmed emotionally as well. So I feel like you're trying to figure all of this out. The answer for you, this is a karmic cycle for you, or a karmic lesson. And the answer to you coming out of this karmic cycle or learning this lesson has to do with identifying love and not becoming overwhelmed in your feelings and your emotions. Particularly with fear. So let me see who's in your energy. Show me who is in Taurus energy. All right, so the person in your energy has the Three of Pentacles, the Page of Swords, and the Ten of Swords. So this is somebody you had an ending with, and this person in your energy, it was extremely painful ending. They felt very betrayed. So I feel like this person does some low-key spying on you. They're trying to figure things out. This is somebody that does want a reconciliation. I do see that. They feel that there's a soul contract between the two of you. They feel as if there's something that ties the two of you together that is almost supernatural. So they basically feel that there's a soul contract. I can see that there was an established foundation between you and this person at some point too. So let me see the energy between Taurus and this person. The King of Cups. You could be dealing with a Pisces, Scorpio, or a Cancer sign, but both of you love each other. There's a lot of love here. The problem is that sometimes it can get a little stormy between the two of you, and that's because you both tend to get a little overwhelmed emotionally, and then there's this sense of emotional isolation that occurs. It causes you to pull back, and it causes them to question themselves. Let me see what's affecting this connection. But nevertheless, there's love here on both sides. What's affecting the connection is a lack of clarity. Ace of Swords in the reverse. There are things that need to be talked about, discussed. And I feel like you're fearful of doing that. Yeah, you're fearful of having some sort of a discussion that would bring clarity with regard to feelings and emotions. This person could be younger than you or possibly a little bit more immature, particularly with how they speak. Let me see your outcome. This person wants to talk about things, though, and they may have tried to bring it up a couple of times, but you've shut them down. Six of Cups in the reverse. Now, this could be releasing this past person, or this could be releasing things from the past. Because I feel like you have love for this person, and I feel like this just didn't manifest the way you wanted it to. They're over here feeling betrayed. And so I do feel like you're actually going to lean into this and release past, past energy here. So bottom of the deck is the Queen of Wands in the reverse. This is underlying energy. You could be dealing with an Aries, Leo, or a Sagittarius. But as an underlying energy, this is, not taking action. There's a lack of action that's taking place. So let me clarify your reading, Taurus. Spirit, why is the Hierophant in reverse for Taurus? All right, we have the Two of Pentacles reversed and the Ten of Wands. Yeah, you're carrying a lot of responsibilities as well, Taurus, and it's leaving you very unbalanced. Yeah, there's you're trying to learn something, but I feel like you're just so overwhelmed that it's leading to an absolute lack of balance. So let me see the Strength card in reverse. Show me the Strength card in reverse. The Hangman, Ace of Wands reverse, and the Four of Swords. Okay, so you're healing. You're in a healing energy about things that you don't want to talk about. Or at least you're trying to heal. I feel like when it comes to what happened that caused this relationship to end, you absolutely shut down. You don't want to talk about it. It could have something to do with sexual inappropriate energy. And you have this energy here that says, we can talk about it another time. We can talk about it later. But right now is not the time to talk about it. And so it leaves this whole big gap, Taurus, about what happened here. Because I feel like you both had a lot of problems in this connection. This wasn't a connection that everybody was getting along well and then decided that you just weren't for each other. There were a lot of problems here. It ended, and you have almost this fear that if you bring this up and really get into the brass tacks of why this ended, that it's just going to create a lot more problems, that maybe it's never going to come together either. So you're always waiting. You're always pushing this conversation to the next, the next day or later. It's like you don't want to open up and talk about it. But that's exactly what it needs to happen in order to bring the clarity. And what you're not realizing here, you need to get a new perspective, Taurus, because by not opening up, not talking about what caused this ending, it's going to create a situation where this can't come back together. Let me see the bottom energy for Taurus. Yeah, there's that stuck energy. The Chariot in reverse. All right, so we have the Ten of Cups, King of Swords reversed, Knight of Swords reversed, and the Chariot in reverse. Yeah, I see an argument coming. I see an argument coming because you don't want to talk about this, and you're shutting this person down. Every time they try to open this conversation up, you shut it down because you're afraid that it's just not going to manifest properly if you get into all of this. There's a fear that's underwriting all of your behavior here. But the reality is that it's causing a lot of stuck energy, and you're going to lose this person. So you're really clearly at a crossroads. And you have to decide, are you going to open up and talk to this person, or are you going to release them and let them go? because you're either going to have to let go something that happened in the past, or you're going to have to let this person go. And you're going to have to open up and start to talk. It's been long enough. There's anger here. There's fear. And it's going to lead to an argument. But you also have the opportunity to bring this cup of love, to get the enlightenment you need, to figure out what it is you need to know about why this situation ended and why you're behaving the way you are. And once you do that and you approach this person in a loving manner, that's when the emotional fulfillment comes through. It's your fear, literally, that's holding you back. Fear is creating a lack of action. Lack of action is creating stuck energy. But you have a choice right now to end this karmic cycle and to move forward into happiness. So let me look at this person's energy. Why is the Three of Pentacles here for the person in Taurus energy? All right, we have the Seven of Wands. We have the Nine of Pentacles. And the Devils. You could be dealing with a Capricorn here. But yeah, this person is standing their ground. They feel that there is a toxic energy that's present. They want to have a solid foundation with you, but they feel that there's something toxic in this. And so I do feel like there is a lot of fighting that goes on between the two of you. This person feels that that is very toxic. They want to work things out. They want to work cooperatively in order to build a solid foundation. But what they're telling me, Taurus, is that there's a lot of conflict. There's a lot of fighting. And you're telling me the same thing. There's a lot of problems here. So I do see this person being very independent, very strong, and very spiritual. They could be somebody who is in the energy of the Empress in the lower arcana. So this tells me they know their value, their self-worth. I'm also seeing that this is somebody, though, that is single. So they haven't taken up with anyone else, but they're viewing this connection as being rather toxic. Let me see the Page of Swords. Let me see the Page of Swords. Yeah, there's the Empress. So this person definitely has a very strong self-esteem. They know their value, their self-worth. They're not chasing. But with the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse, they're checking. They're looking at you and they're saying, is this person ready to let this karmic wheel turn? You know, have they learned what they need to learn? Are they done with all this stuck energy so that things can finally begin to move forward? This is what they're looking at you for. They're trying to figure out. This is a nurturing person as well, but this is somebody who's not going to chase after you. If you don't want to talk, they're not going to try to make you. They'll open the door, but they're not going to drag you through the door. I'm also seeing that this person is feeling rather stuck right now. They see the potential in the relationship and they want this to grow. They feel like it can grow. They're checking that. They're looking to see. But there's all this lack of clarity and lack of communication. So let me see the Ten of Swords. Show me the Ten of Swords for the person in Taurus energy. The Hierophant reverse, that's in your energy. And the Knight of Pentacles reverse. This person feels betrayed, Taurus. They feel betrayed in the way things ended between the two of you. They're holding you responsible. And I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying that's what they're feeling. And they're also feeling betrayed because of all this stuck energy and things not progressing forward. There's, you know, this energy of them saying, you know, this was a very painful ending. There's been no attempt to fully repair it. Any attempt that's been there has been met with conflict. And Taurus, they're saying, Taurus, you're not moving forward. You're just stuck in the past. So let me see. Show me the energy between Taurus and this person. right, we have the World. We have the Two of Cups reversed. We have the Ten of Coins. And we have the Two of Swords reversed. So Taurus, you've already made your decision here that you do want this connection. You're thinking about things from a long-term perspective. You do feel that this person is loyal and that, you know, you could build an empire with this person. But you also have determined that the two of you are not on the same page, particularly about partnership or love. And I do feel like this ending has had a dramatic effect on both of you. I do feel that you want to be with this person. There's also a sense here that your decisions are being affected very strongly by either close friends or family or some sort of community. So I do feel like you want to be with this person. You know you love this person, but it's problematic. It's problematic because you don't feel like you're on the same page. Now, in their energy, they're not budging. I'm going to tell you, Taurus, this person is not budging. They want to put an end to all this toxic behavior. They want to put an end to all this fighting. And if the two of you can't work it out together cooperatively, they're saying, I'd rather just be single. They too are looking at things from a long-term perspective, and I do feel this person could be very deeply tied to family or close friends as well. So I just feel like there's so much love here, there's so much potential, but there's a karmic cycle that does need to close out here, and things need to be discussed and talked about. So let me see, because this thing is spun out of control because nobody wants to take control. Why is the Ace of Swords in reverse? All right. Page of Pentacles, the Five of Swords, and the Knight of Cups reversed. So there is some communication, but it's very small. Very small. One of the things you don't want to talk about could have to do with another energy that is present here. And this energy has caused a lot of conflict between you and the person who's currently in your energy. Yeah, so I feel like that was a pretty bad conflict as well. Whoever this person is, I don't feel like you have feelings for them. Yeah, but I'm seeing another energy that is present here, Taurus, and this energy caused a lot of conflict. You don't want to talk about it. It's over. In your eyes, it's over. It's done. You know, for this person to bring it up is going to make you angry, and that's what's going to create these arguments. So I do feel like there is going to be communication with this person, but there's things that you don't want to discuss, you don't want to talk about. You're looking at things from a position of, this is a fresh new start. It's going to be a small start, and then we can grow. But you're approaching it keeping your emotions still withheld, still tied back. It's like you're telling me that emotions are very difficult for you with this person. In their energy, I do feel like there's going to be conflict. There is going to be conflict because this person feels that you're keeping them stuck, that they don't have the clarity that they need, that you're not approaching them with love. So let me look at your outcome, Taurus. Show me the outcome for Taurus. The Lovers in reverse. The Seven of Pentacles. And the Knight of Wands. Yeah, so you're both trying to release things from the past. You're trying to both decide if you should release each other. And I do feel like for you, Taurus, if you can reverse this Knight of Cups here in reverse, you can come forward you know, with the feelings, with the emotions. It will lead you to happiness. But for some reason, that's so hard for you. I do feel like the two of you are arguing over another energy that is present here. Yeah, it's causing a lot of conflict. So I'm not sure what that's about, but it looks like a third energy that's present. I don't feel like you have feelings for that person. However, there's this energy that both of you are kind of trying to let the past go. You're both watching each other to see what the other person's going to do. There's an air of patience here, seeing what grows, but not really, you know, delving full into anything. Both of you committing a little bit of your energy, but not the full thing. And why? Well, because you are afraid that there's going to be an ending. It's not going to manifest the way you wanted it to. And it's based upon these arguments that you're having. You're afraid that it's not going to move forward in a positive direction. You're afraid it's going to end or manifest in some weird way. So you're waiting to see. You're waiting to see. This argument is having some effect on it. In their energy, I do feel that this is somebody who may be saying, well, I think that because it's taking you so long, Taurus, you're being a player. You're not moving this forward. You know, we had this ending. It was very traumatic for me. I felt very betrayed. And now you're betraying me all over again because you're not moving this forward and you're just being a player. I've been sitting here being very patient, and you're just holding grudges from the past. You're holding on to somebody from the past. And because of that, I think you're being a player. I think you're choosing, you know, someone over me. So I see this kind of being a standoff a little bit. Yeah, and you're both kind of waiting to see what the other person's going to do. And in the background is this third energy that's here that just popped up in the center of your reading. So I don't feel like that person is around you a lot, but for some reason, and it could just be a memory, I can't tell, but there's something to do with a third person that has popped up in the middle of your reading. Just boom, out of the middle of nowhere. But the positive thing is at the bottom of the deck is the Five of Pentacles in the reverse. And that, my friend, is reconciliation energy. So it's almost like your energy is battling itself, Taurus, over taking no action or reconciling with this person. So like I said earlier, you really are at a crossroads. If you decide to let bygones be bygones and, you know, move towards this person with love and, you know, get some clarity over your own feelings and emotions, it's going to lead to a lot of happiness. If you don't, it's going to lead to more of this stuck energy. All right, I'm going to pull an oracle card. Pulling for Taurus. That was fast. All right, so you have number 13, and your card is called Solitude. Solitude. Give me just a moment, and I'll read that for you. It says, I am comfortable in my own skin as I detach to replenish my soul. Meditation is required when you receive the Solitude card as a sign. Empty your mind of superfluous thoughts and allow stillness to flow through your whole being. This is not an advantageous time to ask questions or push forward in any way. Rather, it's a period for a conscious retreat. What's called for now is to step back and take your focus off of your life and your troubles. You'll be surprised by how things sort themselves out once you've replenished your energy by means of a much-needed rest and time out. So there you go, Taurus. You need to put yourself in time out to replenish yourself and then, you know, see things from a different and clearer perspective. All right, I hope this has been helpful, Taurus. If you have resonated with this reading, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and hype this video if you can. Until I see you in your next reading, Taurus, know that you are loved, and namaste.